If worship is the remembrance of God, can we take a holiday from remembering God? No. It's not possible. Not acceptable. People do it, but it's not acceptable. We should strive to be conscious of God. As long as we are conscious, we are awake and conscious, we should be aware, conscious of God in what we say, what we do, what we listen to, etc. So there is really no holiday. This holiday thing came from the West. And the West took it from where? From the East, from Judaic tradition of the Sabbath, the day of rest. Based on the idea that God, after creating the world in 6 days, he had to take a rest. So he took a rest on the 7th. Then that was handed over to Greco-Roman civilization through Paul as he changed the religion that Jesus brought, which was originally Islam. He changed the day of rest, his followers changed the day of rest to what? To Sunday. That became the day of rest. Why? Because the Romans, who were the rulers of the time, the Romans' most popular object of worship, their most popular idol, was Apollo. Apollo, who was the sun god. They believed he used to ride across the sky in a chariot, pulling the sun from one end to the other. He was the sun god. He was also the son of the main god. So he was the son of the main god. Main god had a wife. He had brothers. He had, it was a whole family of gods, right? But anyway, the point is he was the main god and this was his son. So they were trying to promote this idea of Jesus being the Son of God. Of course, they had another twist on it because he was the Son of God who was himself, right? So this idea still, was more acceptable and palatable for the Romans if they said, let's make the day of worship instead of Saturday, Sunday, which was the day for the worship of the sun god. I mean, that's what Sunday means. Monday is the day of worship for the moon god. Actually, all the days of the week, according to Western tradition, are named after days of worship of their gods. If you didn't know, know now. Anyway, the point is that this was a particular process which had a historical origin based in idolatry. And when the West industrialized and workers got rights, then they had to have some days of rest based on this tradition of Sabbath and resting. So they said Saturday, Sunday. And when they colonized the Muslim world and spread control, then they introduced this idea of weekend, days of rest. But in Islam, really, what do we have? We have Friday, but is Friday holiday? No. Friday is not a holiday. Friday, according to the Quran, Allah tells you, if the adhan is called, then go to the prayer. Stop whatever you're doing and go to the prayer. Once the prayer is over, then go out and seek God's bounty in the earth. Continue your business. Go on to do something else. It's not a holiday. So we don't have holidays, technically. So, knowing that, we have to value our time. We have to put a premium on this time. Time is critical. So much so that Allah named a surah, or gave us a surah, whose name was Al-Asr. Time. Wal-Asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. This small chapter at the end of the Quran, by time, all of humanity is in a state of loss. Except those who believe and do righteous deeds, and advise each other to be truthful, to accept the truth, to live by the truth. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, and to be patient. Patient with the trials of this life, whether of good or of evil. And as Imam Shafi'i had said, if Allah had only revealed that surah alone, that chapter alone, it should have been enough for humankind to be guided. So this is the issue of time. How do we utilize our time? Do we waste it? If we talk about time to kill, right? We have time to kill. You got some time to kill? Kill what? This whole concept, we have this whole thing about how we deal with time. You spend time, buy time. This time is to be utilized in a way which is pleasing to God. Every moment, every second, we are responsible for. As the Prophet ﷺ had said, on the day of judgment when we're resurrected, that no one will move from the place until they answer, what did they do in the time of their lives? That time which God gave, how did we utilize that time? We'll have to answer for it. Every moment, every second of our lives, we will have to answer for. There was no holiday. It was a trick. Satanic trick. So, if we go back to our beginning thought, that of first things first, we said that this is addressing fundamentally planning. That we have to plan our lives. Everything that we have to do in this life should be in accordance with a plan. Alhamdulillah, Islam provides the plan. It's not that we have to go and crack our heads and worry and think and philosophize, and no, it's there. What we need to do, the guidelines are there so we can plan the whole of our lives. It gives us that clarity. That is Islam. So this is what is required of us, that we put Islam first in our lives, make it first. And of course, there's a big struggle happening out there in the world today. Because those of us who have ended up in the West, there is this issue right now in front of us about assimilation and integration. The West wants Muslims to be, for example, Germans first. You're a German. You talk German. You dress like a German. You walk like a German. You think like a German, but you can still be a Muslim in your back pocket. Right? That's what they want. If you're like that, you're fine. That's the kind of Muslim we like. But now, if you're the kind of Muslim which says, no, Muslim is different. German thing is just a happens thing. We just happen to be here. But no, we are Muslims first. Islam comes first. Islam is our priority. Then, hey, this is a terrorist. This is a terrorist. That's terroristic thinking. Fundamentalist, Salafist, Wahhabist, all kinds of names. All of this. This is the struggle that is going on. This is the cultural clash that Huntington talked about. It's happening. It's real. This is the struggle. And the only way that we will prevail is to put first things first. So I ask Allah, most gracious, most merciful, to help us to accept Him as the first and most important thing in our lives, and to make Islam the priority of our lives, and to be clear about what is most important and what is not, and to live in accordance with that correct understanding. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.